Martin Scorsese's The Irishman tells the tale of truck driver Frank Sheeran, who is taken under the wing of mob boss Russell Bufalino and Teamsters Union President Jimmy Hoffa as a hitman. Whilst the story itself is incredible, the main selling point of the film is that it's a gangster picture directed by the man who made Goodfellas and Casino, and stars veterans of the mafia genre Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro and Harvey Keitel, and it is the first and only time these four men have starred in a movie together. The movie is something of a send-off to the gangster genre, a last hurrah if you will. It's also a send-off to the actors in the film, all now at least 70 years old, and this is something reflected in the film itself, as one of the major themes of the movie is growing old and looking back on your life. As the film is a culmination of Scorsese's mob movie career, naturally it contains many nods and references, some to other films and some to events in real life. I wanted to go through some of the hidden things in The Irishman that I found interesting. I didn't find much, and none of them are really that major, but there were quite a few things that I did notice and thought were quite interesting. If you spot any Easter eggs I missed, don't hesitate to mention in the comments below. Now first of all, I don't want to spend this video listing out all the cameos from actors known for mob movies and Scorsese films, so we'll leave those to a side. As you might expect, given this is a Scorsese mafia movie, it contains a lot of actors who made their bones in the genre. Some are quite obvious, like Vinny from The Sopranos playing one of Sheeran's early mob associates, Whispers being played by a guy who is in Goodfellas, Casinos and The Sopranos, a cameo from Steven Van Zandt who is known for playing Silvio in The Sopranos, and some less obvious ones, like the fact that the shop owner that Pesci talks to about disciplining his son is the same guy that played Pesci's brother in Casino. Or that Craig Vincent, the guy who played Ed Partin who sends Hoffa to jail by wearing a wire, is the same guy who played the cowboy who refused to take his feet off in the table in Casino. These aren't really references anyway, they just happen to be people who were cast in the roles. We could sit here forever talking about how Bo Dietl and Alan Dorfman were both in The Wolf of Wall Street, so let's avoid all of that for now. So some of the things I found interesting were, one where, if you look carefully, you'll notice what I picked up on in my second viewing of the film, which is that, oh spoiler alert by the way, the Jimmy Hoffa hit, which the entire movie is centered around, is actually shown in the first 3 minutes or so of the film. In the opening scene, when Old Man Sheeran is sitting there beginning his story to us, he talks about painting houses and there is a quick cut to a man getting shot inside a house. If you pause the film, even though you can't see his face, from his head shape and clothes, it's clearly Al Pacino's Jimmy Hoffa meeting his demise, which happens around 2.5 hours later into the film. Scorsese often shows things that happen towards the end of his movies near the beginning, like the car bombing in Casino for example. But this is one instance where clearly you're not supposed to notice that it's Pacino upon a first watch. How would you anyway? It's a neat little trick. Maybe Scorsese got the idea from Dario Argento's Deep Red, where very famously, when the main character is investigating a murder scene, he walks past the murderer hiding.